Thanks for joining us for this news conference as we preview the City of Lincoln's plans for transportation infrastructure improvement projects for this year. And joining me this afternoon are Lincoln City Council Member James Michael Bowers, Lincoln Transportation and Utilities Director Liz Elliott, Lincoln Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Jason Ball, and Amigos franchise employee owner Aaron Harold. Investing in our community's street infrastructure is a priority pillar for my administration. Well-maintained streets enhance public safety, they spur economic growth, and they contribute to our high quality of life here in Lincoln. And those are the big reasons why the City of Lincoln has invested in streets at record levels while delivering results that residents can see and feel every day. And since 2019, the city has improved or constructed 194 lane miles of arterial streets and 162 lane miles of residential streets. We've been able to accelerate progress on street improvement thanks to our community's support of Lincoln on the Move. And I want to thank again our Lincoln voters for their support, which will enable even more street progress in the years ahead. And here to provide an overview of street and other transportation infrastructure improvement projects planned for the 2025 construction season is LTU Director Liz Elliott. Director Elliott?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm thrilled that our community members can already see significant construction progress taking place in central Lincoln along 17th Street from A to S streets and along Normal Boulevard from 33rd to 70th streets. These two large projects are on schedule to be completed in the next several months. This construction season, our team at LTU is gearing up for a total of 19 street improvement projects across our community. In other words, we'll be improving the street quality and infrastructure for nearly 54 lane miles of arterial streets and nearly 14 lane miles of residential streets through the 2025 construction season. We're excited to kick off another construction season and thankful for Lincoln voters who see great value in continuing the Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax, which we estimate will fund an estimated $18 million worth of projects this year. Upcoming arterial street projects include North 33rd and Superior Streets to 27th Street and Fletcher Avenue, Northwest 12th Street from Adams to Highlands, Pine Lake Road from 14th to 32nd Streets, O Street improvements between 14th and 16th Streets, 40th Street improvements from A to O, and the northbound lanes along 14th Street from Yankee Hill to Pine Lake will be treated with a nice top coating. Nebraska Parkway from 48th to 56th Street, Adams Street from North 38th to North 49th, South 56th Street from Spruce to Van Dorn, and also North 66th, Cotner and Adams signal replacements, North 84th and College Park traffic signal replacements, and at 9th, 10th, and D Streets, new signals will be installed at those locations. We're also equally committed to enhancing safety and mobility in our neighborhoods by investing in improvements to residential streets. Upcoming residential street projects include in the East Ridge neighborhood just south of O Street, improvements will take place on portions of L Street, Lindcrest Drive, Taylor Park, Park Vista, Park Vale Street, and East Ridge Drive. Over in Northwest Lincoln, the Arnold Heights neighborhood street improvement project will improve portions of streets like Northwest 54th, Northwest 50th Streets, West Superior Street, and West Knight Drive. In South Lincoln, the Pound Middle School Street Improvement Project will focus on portions of Gertie, 44th, 45th, 47th Streets, and Clare Street. And in the Vintage Heights neighborhood in Southeast Lincoln, improvements are planned for portions of 91st Street, Maryvale Drive, 93rd Street, and several others. With each project, we want to do our best at informing and engaging our community as we work to enhance projects by incorporating public input we receive. Be sure to check out lincoln.ne.gov/projects for more public houses, public open houses, virtual public meetings, or other city engagement opportunities, and help us elevate or our improvement projects across Lincoln even more. And a reminder, with all of the construction improvement projects, we ask that drivers drive with caution. We encourage you to slow down, stay alert, and be mindful of construction crews working nearby. Please keep a safe distance between you and traffic cones and obey all traffic laws. Together, we can make sure everyone gets home safely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Elliott, and to all of the folks at LTU who are helping to make these transportation improvements come to life. We know how important they are for safety, economic vitality, and for our quality of life. Now, our partners at the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce also share those values and a commitment to street infrastructure improvement projects. And here to share more about how street investments are also investments in our local economy is Lincoln Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Jason Ball. Jason.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Director Elliott. And Mayor, I'm entirely grateful that I didn't have to read the list of all the projects that Director Elliott just went through. Good afternoon. It's again a pleasure to be here and speak with everybody about streets and roads and their importance in Lincoln. I also want to express on behalf of the business community our great thanks that the community supported the renewal of Lincoln on the Move. As you are going to see this summer and for the next 8 years, we're going to have some great projects that have been enabled by that important resource. And so we thank everybody in this community for supporting it. Now, it's a beautiful day in Lincoln. We just had our chamber golf tournament yesterday. It was gorgeous out there. The sun is shining, the squirrels are frolicking, the birds are chirping, and the orange cones are out. And so it's again the time of year where I like to remind everybody that this is a great sign of progress. And so the orange cones will not be there forever. They're a temporary frustration. It will slow you down. There's great information on the city website so you can prepare for that as you're planning routes for the summer. And once that temporary pain is past us, we are going to have great new assets in this community to enjoy for decades to come. I drove on one of those to our golf tournament yesterday on 84th Street, roughly between O and Van Dorn, give or take. And I remember that was a disruption to some travel patterns last year, and it is a great asset for us this year. So please do drive with caution. And remember, this is part of our growth process. We cannot add to our housing inventory like we want to without resources and projects like this. We cannot enable more businesses to grow unless we are able to have disruptions like this. All of this is a small part in the process of making Lincoln more prosperous and more successful in the years to come. So please cooperate with traffic and be careful and be patient, and remember, take the long view this summer. We've got some great assets coming. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Jason. Yes, we call them the orange cones of progress. And you can find out, as Director Elliott mentioned, where they're going to be if you go to our website, lincoln.ne.gov/projects, so you can plan and anticipate and avoid them if you want to. All right, well, one of the upcoming street improvement projects funded by Lincoln on the Move will resurface a really busy stretch of Pine Lake Road. That stretch abuts schools and businesses like Amigos at 15th and Pine Lake Road. And here to talk more about how this project will enhance safety and mobility along Pine Lake Road is the employee owner of that particular Amigos location, Aaron Harold. Aaron, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. As a longtime employee owner at Amigos, I know and understand the value of safe and smooth streets. I also understand that construction of any kind can cause some driving inconveniences. The short-term construction inconveniences will soon offer long-term benefits for the community. As a whole, this stretch of Pine Lake where this will all happen is where my Amigos restaurant, several schools, many other businesses coexist. This is a key part of the Lincoln street system, and most importantly, contributes to the city's economic success. This street needs to be improved upon, and the time to do this is now. I believe in this project and fully support it. By rehabilitating the street along this stretch of road, it will not only benefit the local schools and businesses, benefit all Lincoln residents, and provide a safer and more enjoyable ride. Customers in my business will be able to pull into our Amigos knowing they can get their crisp meat burrito fix and be down the street quickly and safely once this project is completed. This will also be the case for my fellow business owners on Pine Lake Road, and we hope will even increase sales and offer a more enjoyable experience for the entire neighborhood. Street improvements maintain safety for all in the community. I have no doubt by the end of the construction season, businesses, residents, parents, students, and customers will feel the improvements. Even our cars will thank us, as will our wallets, for the street improvements going on not only on Pine Lake Road, but all over the city of Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for being here today to share that perspective. We know that our local business owners work really hard, and that's why we want to make sure we're working hard to support your success through street projects that help customers travel easily to and from Amigos for those crisp meat burritos, and to your neighboring businesses as well. So to make transportation infrastructure investments, we rely on the support of our partners on the Lincoln City Council. And I'd now like to invite up Lincoln City Council member James Michael Bowers to talk about how these investments will deliver tangible results for our community members, including those whom he represents in Northeast Lincoln. Councilmember Bowers?
Thank you, Mayor. Public infrastructure like streets and sidewalks enhance safety, economic opportunities, and quality of life for Lincoln residents. But that's not all they do. Our streets and sidewalks help ensure accessibility for community members of all ages, abilities, and transportation types. As the son of a mother who uses a wheelchair, this is deeply personal for me. All Lincolnites should be able to enjoy a walk in their neighborhood. And that's a big reason why last year I successfully advocated for additional funding in the city budget for sidewalk repairs. As a result, we are now able to double our investment in sidewalk repairs over the next 2 years. Looking ahead, we will be able to rehab and repair nearly 28 miles of sidewalks this year, and on top of that, we will replace nearly 4 miles of old sidewalks with new, smooth ones in every quadrant of our city. As the proud representative of Northeast Lincoln on the City Council, I am thrilled that 2 of these sidewalk replacement projects will benefit Northeast Lincoln, including one in the University Place neighborhood. By prioritizing infrastructure enhancements to streets and sidewalks in every corner of Lincoln, we are fostering an environment where all residents can enjoy mobility, opportunity, and meaningful connection to our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Bowers. We do appreciate your leadership and the investment that you've helped make happen for our sidewalks here in Lincoln. And that does, in fact, make it safer and easier for everyone, all ages and all abilities, to travel throughout our community. All right, well, as the year continues, we will stay focused on this vital work to deliver the streets, sidewalk, and other transportation infrastructure improvements that keep you and everyone in our community moving forward. I invite our community members once again to learn more about these newest transportation projects at lincoln.ne.gov/projects. And with that, we'd be happy to take any questions from the media.
Is the city what is or can the city do to help sort of mitigate the disruption to businesses with these projects?
We do everything that we can to mitigate the impacts, not only to businesses, but also anyone traveling within that area. We do a lot of public engagement to try and make sure everyone is aware of the project, the timing, and the impacts. We keep our websites up to date with information so people can get real-time updates that way. And we also work with the residents and the businesses in the area to help, whether it's advertising detour routes to get there, or making sure that we're maintaining access to businesses as much as we can, and really just try to work with them throughout the process and work, if it's like Pine Lake Road, where it's next to schools, we work closely with LPS, and we try to time those as best we can to minimize the impacts during the school season.
Will that particular project by Amigos be done by the time school starts?
So there's significant work both on the westbound and eastbound lanes on Pine Lake. And in working with LPS, working with the community there, we looked for the best way to minimize the impacts during the school. So there are going to be impacts to the calendar year, in particular over the next few weeks. But what we did was we looked to the area farthest away from the school and started there, And we did opt to do full closures. That will allow us to speed up the project and minimize and hopefully eliminate full closure efforts in front of Park Middle School when school starts in the fall. So those are some of the efforts that we've really been trying to work on to minimize the impacts to LPS, parents dropping off and picking up their children, and those who live and work in the area.
And then I wanted to ask Mr. Harold.
Harold.
There'll be a big impact, there'll be a big improvement once it's all done, but what's going to happen during construction?
Things will slow down a little bit, but we're prepared for that completely. It's not our first rodeo. We've gone through this with several city projects. We have a plan in place and we know what to do. And we know that this is going to be a short-term loss and a long-term gain. The street improvement is vastly going to help us as far as, like I said, getting customers in and out and easier access for them. And I do speak to a lot of customers in our area, and they want to see this done. They know that there needs to be work done, especially in front of Scott Middle School.
So will there still be access into that area?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also had a question about, probably for Liz.
Sorry, Liz.
No, they're good.
Musical
Just like to see you
places.
dance.
Right.
Yeah. Do crews ever, during summer, the high season of construction work, do crews ever work at night? And do you know why or why not that happens?
We try to minimize that because there's people living in that area, and that working in the evening is a significant disruption to the community. We do that at times, working later hours, not necessarily completely overnight, but in some projects like West Day last year, we did work until about midnight on a few occasions to get some of that work done so we can get in and out. So we do that. There are noise provisions within our codes and specifications, so we can, again, minimize the impact to the surrounding community. We want to minimize any disruption if they're trying to, enjoy their evenings at home.
I guess knowing that, then how do you kind of keep those workers working during the day, especially during the summer, keep them safe in the heat?
Right, that safety of our crews out there are always top of mind. We want to ensure, and as we're hitting already 90-degree weather, that's something that we work closely with the crews. We ensure that they do have proper hydration and safety equipment. We do take necessary breaks if need be for cooling, and so we just really we keep our vehicles on site so they can sit in there with the air conditioning to make sure people are safe while they're working in those high temperatures that we know happen here in Nebraska.
One of the biggest concerns of residents in the area, specifically on Pine Lake Road between 27th and 29th right now, is just the traffic. So what's one thing that you would say to those people who are having to deal with the heavy traffic and the stoplights?
And I think, as Jason had mentioned earlier, and Mayor, we have all of the information on our website. So we really do encourage people to check out the website as they're planning for their travel across the community. They can also use the Waze app. All of our projects are within the Waze app. And so just like Google Maps, that can help you, but knowing that the construction projects are in there and can help you plan what's the quickest way to where you're going.
Could you maybe just speak to like how you strategize, which roads and which areas need to be done and when?
Absolutely. So we work closely with our advisory committee on transportation, and we work through with them on every project project packages that we do each season. So with them, we look at a number of factors, including our basic factors of pavement condition and those needs in that area with the infrastructure, but we also look at what other projects are going on, whether it's other water or wastewater projects or private utility projects. We try to time those together. We also look at the timing of all the projects. We don't want to just be in one area. We want to try and minimize that impact, so we try to coordinate geographically where projects are. So we take all of that into consideration and try to program as best we can. We do know things like weather often throw our timing off sometimes, and so we have to also build in and take that into consideration.
What are some of the other businesses around areas are saying to you guys about these projects?
Well, I think a lot of it is like Erin had said, is yes, it's a temporary inconvenience, but long term, it really is a huge improvement in that area. Like 11th Street, there was a lot of work going on last season, I think. My years are blending together. Within the last 2 seasons, we've done a lot of work on 11th Street that had impact to businesses there. But if you drive on 11th Street now, it is such an enjoyable ride and easier to access the businesses there. And so long-term wise, it's definitely a benefit to businesses and the economic development around that area. Oh, yes. The other thing we often do is to help make it easier to navigate through construction and through the process is signage. We try to put up as much signage as we can on there, whether it's our electronic message boards, if it's detour signs. We try to indicate and provide as much of that visible direction that will help people navigate through the communities, through the neighborhood and business districts as well. And we do work, as mentioned, we do work with the businesses to try and help spread that message to their customers so they know the easiest way to get to their businesses during construction.
Do the 19 projects include the whole 18 million of the Lincoln on the Move funding for the year?
There are a few projects that also go into next construction season, but yes, that is that includes that $18 million from Lincoln on the Move, as well as additional transportation funding.
Do you know what the total funding for all these projects is?
That is
51.1.
Thank you. $51.1 million this season alone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Too many numbers.
Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you again to our guests. Thank you for your leadership on the council. Thank you to all of you for coming to learn more about our construction season and helping to get the word out for folks so we can keep people informed, engaged, and make it as smooth as possible for everyone on the way to making our streets smoother. Thank you so much.